Looks like I'm a little sideways there, but we had to snap that thing in there as quick as possible.
You're sitting
Thank you for
sideways,
joining us.
boys in the
Sitting
days.
sideways, boys in the days. Thank you for joining us. But by the grace of God, we join you on LOL Mets Kings Sports Program Talk Show, whatever. Lots to get into. Fortunately, with the return of football and, more serious baseball, not in the case of the Mets, maybe, but developments in the baseball world coming. We're picking up. We're getting out of these lean times. Football does always give you a lot to talk about during the season. I know they want to give us a lot to talk about when it's not at all the season, and I don't want to hear it at all. Actually, I wore the Tebow. I busted out the Tebow in honor of the funeral for preseason football because, God, it's terrible. It is so bad.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun.
I don't know if I'm more excited for the start of college football or just the end of NFL preseason football. Honestly, it's like... But, Tyler, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Was definitely enjoyed the weekend in sports. Very much so like you, like NFL preseason, I really couldn't give a shit about. But, hey, college football is here. Love that. Got a little taste of that little hors d'oeuvre of college football this weekend.
Right. Amuse bouche, I told you.
That's right. Got some nice MLB action, and of course, Mets. Just they can't help but be the Mets.
Oh, the Mets.
Which we'll definitely get into. But Ron, how was your weekend?
The weekend was good. Did get to actually play a little bit of golf. There was an invite thrown out by my wife and then her other 49er friends to go watch the preseason game at some 49er bar, which I don't have a problem with, just because, even if they get killed, which, I mean, they kind of did, but I just kind of saw the score and that's it. I don't care about that. Like, I'll take the shit talking. My whole theory has always been nobody hates them as much as me, because who's the fan here? Like, I've seen all the warts. Like, you guys are just trying to, poke me for one game. No, I hate them all the time. But apparently the 49er bar they were going to go to, that got all mixed up and whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sneak out for a quick round of golf, which ended up being nice. One thing I will say about that is it was at the Loma Club, which is a pretty shorter 9-hole course down at, Point Loma, obviously. Really, the cool part about it, it's at Liberty Station, and then you get up on top of the hill and you look down, you see the skyline and the airport and everything. But nice. It's nothing crazy as a course, but they do have disc golf there. And, being quick on my feet, I was like grouped up with these other 3 people, 2 guys and a girl, and then I'm the 4th added in. And a pizza place, of course. And it was just 2. Look, I love disc golf also, so I'm not going to sit here and bet. It's a great sport, great game, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much like golf, just cheaper, still just as frustrating. But it was 2 very, maybe the first or second time, I hope, they had ever gone, guys in front of us. And first of all, even as someone that has disc golfed a lot, there's a reason why I don't like doing the disc golf courses that are on ball golf courses, because everyone hates you, or just off the bat, like that's whatever. Right. But these guys, I can't look. It was coming from a place of they were trying to be respectful as far as golf decorum. Don't hit into people. Don't throw into people if you're doing a disc, whatever. But the basket for disc golf on a golf course is always at least 60 yards short of where the actual green is. So they were waiting for the ball golfers to clear off the green before they would throw. Keeping in mind, this is 3 holes after I had been watching them, and they were clearly very, I'm an amateur too, but I mean, they were first or second time out. They had just like their JanSport on. It wasn't like the disc bag. They had like 2 discs. They were putting with the driver, whatever. And then they would throw it, and it would go like 30 feet and just like crap out. I was like, you guys should just go right now. Like, I get it, but there is no way in hell that those people are in any danger. Just throw, just get it going, because you're going to have to throw like 8 times to get down there, and then we can all just keep it moving. And then, they wait forever, of course, then play like 2 or 3 discs each. I'm like, oh, God. This is why everyone hates us. This is why everyone hates disc golfers. I'm out here with my, golf buddies. Like, you're giving the sport a bad name right now. Like, I would never do this. And then they hole out and just walk straight across the golf green. Like
oh, jeez. Oh, no.
The most damning thing was just like, just throw. Like, no one is in any danger. Like, I know I've seen you both. You cannot throw it possibly, even with the wind. Maybe we're talking like 80 to 90 feet. Like, it's going to take a while.
Yeah. If you took 8 throws, you might reach the green.
You could just start kicking it right now, like, and you'll get there faster. Just kick the frisbee down the fairway. But
just roll it. Just roll it. Just put it on its side and roll it down. Like,
just roll it down the hill. But besides those guys, which it was okay. That was just annoying. Oh, on the last hole too, the girl that was with us, she, I think she swung a club a few times before, but she was just kind of borrowing off of her friend or boyfriend. I don't know what their nature of their relationship was, his clubs, and just playing along, and wasn't really like holding it up. She was just like trying to figure out, like, I can't get it in the air, or I'm topping it, or whatever.
Sure.
And then she started. I was like, just take more club. Like, I don't swing that hard. I always take more club. Like, whatever club works for you, use that club. That's like the best way to do it when you're starting out. So the last like 3 holes, she started teeing off with like a hybrid or a 3-wood or something like that. And these are, shorter holes, like 150 yards, whatever. But if it's getting you closer, do that. Yeah. So she started kind of hitting them. And on the very last hole, the Loma Club has, the little clubhouse. There's like a place in there you can go and get like snacks and beer. And on Sunday, or maybe just on the weekends in general, they have a musician out there. This guy was on a stage, so she just like got into one, sliced it over to the trees, and I was like, maybe the tree knocked it down. Like, there's no way it could have went that far. And we're all looking for it, and then some guy comes walking up he was just hanging out, with his beer, like, oh yeah, it bounced off the stage. And the guy said something about it. He was like, hey, there's guardian angels up there. And it like hit the clubhouse and bounced around, but no kids or anyone got hurt. It was fine. I was like, all right, I'm out. Good playing with you guys. Before the police show up, I'm out.
I was hoping you were going to say it ended up like, was that Nickelback in Spain or wherever it was they were playing when he got nailed in the head with a bottle or whatever.
We got any Nickelback fans out here?
Oh, Portugal. It was in Portugal. That was it. That's right.
No. Nowhere. Nickelback guy. But, no, it was fun. And did get to see West Ham, unfortunately. Yeah, they got the point. But,
yeah.
We could have had all 3.
Should have had 3.
And let's start with that, because I do want to wait just a minute here and see if we can get my buddy Brian, our Mets insider, to hop on. So we're efforting on that. But if he doesn't show up, don't worry, fans. We got plenty of Mets content because it's been an interesting.
The team that keeps on giving,
to say the least. I mean, when you sent me the Reddit thing, I was like, I knew about a lot of this, but when you see it in one place, you're just like,
wow. It's astounding. Like,
it is. It's like staggering. Like, you guys are actually cursed. Like, wow. But real quick, let's hit the Premier League. Man City, Arsenal. Oh boy. 5-0. The only silver lining I could say was the video that I saw from the Arsenal fan section. That was, we lose every week. You're nothing special. Singing to the Man City fans.
fair play to them for that. At least they can find some humor in it. But
It's all you can
this
do. You got to
this
laugh
was
to
a
keep
game,
from crying.
right? This is a game. It started at 4:30. I happened to wake up at 4:40 a.m. Just woke up and wasn't going back to sleep.
Gooner,
So
Gooner. Are you
so
a
I
low-key
turned the game.
Arsenal fan? How dare you?
Yes. So I turned the game on. It's 10 minutes in, and Arsenal was already down 2-0. I was like, oh boy, this is something. This is going to be bad. And like I said, I couldn't go back to sleep, so I watched the rest of the game, and yeah.
Look,
Oh, well, I
we
mean,
both have this pinned as a loss. Look, Man City is
for
just
sure.
good. They're better than the next best team. I mean, and Arsenal is going through a lot right now. So but okay, 2-0, 3-0, but 5-0. Then it gets to we riot mode, and like I said, the one silver lining was the video from the fan section. We lose every week. You're nothing special. And you can even see the Man City fans are singing it too, just laughing.
Yeah.
So it's all in good fun. But Arsenal, woo. Arteta out, maybe. I don't know.
Arsenal is officially in 20th place in the standings right now. It's
it's a fall from grace, shall we say. I mean, it hasn't been very graceful in recent years, but it's not where you want to be. We all knew this was not the ideal situation to go into your third game. No one was expecting, maybe losing to Brentford. But it's going to be, they'll dig their way out. Arsenal is not going to get relegated.
On paper, there's too much talent for them to not start getting wins. Once they start playing the bad teams, they're going to win.
But with that said, it is still enjoyable to entertain. I thought.
Oh, mate.
Better days are ahead, Arsenal fan.
You know what my ultimate hope is they're going at some point in time this year. They're probably going to get rid of Arteta, right?
I would assume so, yes.
So who is the available manager that is known for saving teams from relegation?
Big Sam.
Who's the guy out there? Big Sam at Arsenal. Tell me that would not
Big
be
Sam.
amazing.
Please bring me Big Sam right now.
Big Sam at Arsenal. Oh my God, would be absolutely amazing.
Hey, he could save him. If you need to be saved, bring in.
He's the man.
There's one man to call.
That's it, man.
But going down, hey, shout out to Brentford also. Going on the road, getting that point.
Nicely done.
Everyone, if it's not your team, that's your second favorite team kind of thing, just the feel-good story.
Definitely.
But still a long road and another transfer window ahead. So every single point counts, even early on. So if they're stacking them up now, good on them.
Look, that's just it, man. I think if you would have, even though I am the one person in our group that predicted them to not get relegated, I would not have guessed.
Throw that in my face. That's fine.
No,
that's fine.
I would not have guessed 5 points in their first 3 games. There's no way I would have said that's happened.
I don't think even a lot of Brentford fans would have said that. So you got to love that. Just the whole story there. Honestly, like I said, it's really hard to. I'm sure they have some kind of geographical, London-based, 200-year-old rivals that would disagree with this statement.
Probably Fulham or something
I'm sure there's people that are just no, I hope they burn in hell. But at this point, they're having just enjoy the ride, Brentford fans. Everton and Brighton, I know we were kind of this could be nothing. I don't know. Everton took care of business, which is
Yep.
Brighton's not good, but still going on the road. Everton wanted to get all 3 of those points, so that was a good showing by them.
Yep.
Newcastle, Southampton, I had no way to pick a side on this on Friday, and ends in a draw. So I feel like it's a fair result. Point for each.
Yeah, what else can you say about that one? That was definitely the toss-up, but, Newcastle not looking good in the year. Southampton, what do they have left? Because they got rid of all their best guys, and I'm sure Southampton is thrilled to get the point. At this point in time of the year, I'm sure I think that might be Newcastle's first point of the year. So they're probably thrilled with that too.
Both, yeah. We'll say, maybe there was a moment here and there. We could have got more, but I'm sure they're very happy with the one. Leicester, Norwich. Norwich just really, really is bad. I mean, they're going to be fighting for their lives. Well, it's a long season, Baron, but yeah, it's not great. I mean, especially the weight of expectation is a special thing when Arsenal fans. Yes, you see the kind of self-aware Arsenal fans, the ones singing that we lose every week, whatever. But I believe that's only to hide the pain. That's an outward expression of just how disappointed they truly are. And it would be a massive, massive failure. I mean, this would be like fire everyone, like kind of situation. If they were to get relegated, that would be insane. So I think we're far, far away.
They'd have to fire everyone because that Premier League money wouldn't be coming anymore. And they got some big contracts on that team. So, yeah.
Imagine the Emirates in the championship. Like,
oh, my God. A 70,000 seat stadium.
What is even happening right now? But, hey, you guys are supposedly a big club. Figure it out.
A Super League club, mind you.
That's right. Founding member. West Ham, as we already alluded to. Yeah, just a couple nice goals for West Ham, but man, at home again, you really want that. You want the 3 points. Freaking Crystal Palace, dude. These Chelsea Academy guys, I don't know why they can't. I kind of do, and I kind of don't know why they can't get any minutes over there. But this fool comes in and scores 2. And unfortunately, I have to settle for the 1 point for West Ham.
2 very preventable goals by two preventable goals for Crystal Palace. I mean, look, with the signing of Kurt Zuma, this was probably Dawson's last chance, and he blew it. Both those goals were mostly on him. Probably on Fabianski too. I mean, with Areola coming in the transfer window too, like Fabianski's job's probably on the line as well. But just, 2 very preventable goals, especially one happening right after Antonio scored the second goal and they took that 2-1 lead and they just immediately give it up. It was very frustrating, big picture. Look, 7 points the first 3 games. Not going to be mad about that at all.
No, of course not.
But it's definitely one of those things where kind of like you'll look back maybe at the end of the year like, we could have gotten those 2 points.
And, just kind of what we were saying about Brentford. Like, you look back when you're at the end, like, where could we have squeezed out? Like, another point here or there or 2 more? Like, because they all do add up. So, hopefully, that doesn't end up being some kind of backbreaker. I still like the direction overall West Ham is headed, especially compared to where they were coming into last season. Lord knows. But a little disappointing. And then the game of the weekend, just on the marquee, and definitely the game of the day at name value was Chelsea at Liverpool. Just a weird ending to the first half. I mean, everything just went totally insane. It was definitely a handball with James. It just gets straight red, and then people start losing their minds, and then you have like the goalie gets carded. Tuchel's freaking out on the sidelines. I mean, it just totally melted down. So honestly, after all that chaos, kind of credit to Chelsea and Tuchel for just getting out of there with the point. I mean, they had the lead early, so that's like the gut punch. Then they take a body blow themselves with like straight red. Like the guy, he was just trying to keep it, like just save it off the line. Like his arm came up, definitely a penalty, but straight red. I mean, I thought that was insane.
So I agree, and I know we were texting back with the time a little bit, kind of like that's absolutely a penalty. White straight red is ridiculous, but like I kind of looked into it more, and that actually is the rule: is that any handball on a goal, any handball that would have prevented a goal, which it would have, even though it deflected off his leg first and then hit his arm, it would have gone in. Even the deflection off the leg, it would have gone in. So that's an automatic red, like no question. So it's like, okay, I get it. That's kind of it's kind of dumb, especially in that situation where it's like absolutely unintentional. But I also understand like it is the rule, so the ref made the right decision. But like you said, credit to Chelsea. Look, that was a backbreaker going into halftime. They came down and they shut down Liverpool in the second half. Liverpool came at them hard for like the first 10 minutes and was like, all right, well, now we're out of ideas because we haven't scored. We're not getting through this defense. So it just wound up being a 1-1 draw. So doing that at Anfield, massive win for Chelsea. It's only 1 point, might as well be 3.
That's big, especially considering the company, against the teams that you're going to be like really trying to get over. That's big for them. And yeah, I mean, in the second half, you're thinking like, oh, here it comes. And Liverpool brought it. The goalie for Chelsea was just out of his mind. And credit to them also, Chelsea was still getting loose on some counterattacks, like still threatening the goal every, 8 to 10 minutes on breakaways and stuff like that. You have Lukaku up there. You can like turn guys around and make a break for goal. But getting out of there with a point, considering how the first half ended, I was just fully prepared for like Liverpool wins 4-1. So that is actually in a way, frustrating, but also satisfying if you are a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I imagine you got to be frustrated as a Liverpool fan as well. Like you're definitely going to have thinking like you just said, like, okay, this game's gonna get broken open and a full Anfield, tough place to play. That crowd is right on top of you, and they are just say they have a reputation they have earned. So like I said, you're imagining if you're Liverpool, you're like, all right, this front three is gonna just blow it open. To be honest, man, I know it's only 3 games of the year. Outside of Salah, nope. Like the other 2 guys on their front three, like they're not threatening anybody. Like it's kind of like it's the most Salah show, and that's it.
I think, what I'm seeing Liverpool right now, like Salah, if he's healthy, one of the most dangerous players in the league, and the other guys they have are still very dangerous as well. But it kind of seems like
Bobby Firmino,
a team that does have the resources, aka the money that they do have. It's sort of one of those teams crying out for like, just throw another guy in there that might wake up the rest. You know what I mean? Like they have the money to go get somebody. And then if everyone's job is kind of like, oh man, now I'm not getting the minutes, like you might see that thing just like turn into high gear. But a little, like I said, outside of maybe the first 20 minutes of the second half, they kind of just like, we're out of ideas. Like this guy's a brick wall. We're getting frustrated. Obviously the Chelsea defense, we know they're very organized, like blowing stuff up. And they held the line enough to get out of there. So credit to them. Burnley leads, not the goal fest that we were hoping for. But
not at all.
Can't be mad if you're Burnley. I mean, Burnley, you take the points at this point. Leeds, they're not exactly a world beater, but we know they can go off and hang 4 or 5 on you if they really get up and down. So, probably more frustrating for Leeds than Burnley, even though Burnley's the one taking the 1 point at home. Watford Spurs, Justin's team, our Spurs insider. They just roll on. And now that Sir Harry Kane is here to stay for now. Although Watford, I did see, it seems like they're very close to getting Renato, which would be nice. I would like to see him back in the Premier League. Yeah. And I thought he was the best player on Portugal in the Euros. So, and again, a guy that just seems like he's been around forever. And then you look him up and he's like, oh, he's 24. Like,
yeah.
He's been in the Premier League twice and left. Like, he's just one of those guys. Like, all right, obviously he's talented. So if it didn't work out with one team, like, he's going to break through at some point. This guy is a star.
So that actually makes sense because I did see today that Troy
Wolves.
Deeney
I'm sorry,
is leaving
Wolves.
the team. Yeah, okay, he's going to Wolves. Okay.
Not Watford.
I was thinking he's going to Watford. Well, either way, because Watford, I saw Troy Deeney's leaving them. He's been there for like 12 years, so he's probably like 23. Spurs again, just nothing impressive outside of the fact they beat Man City. They haven't, there's nothing been really impressed about them. 3-1 3, 1-0 wins, which, hey, 9 points, you'll take that. I think they're probably on top of the league right now, actually. Just kind of like waiting for them to, I don't know, show something. But again, you'll take the 1-0 win every time. So props to them.
Honestly, you're not going to get Man City most of the time. So whenever you get them, take the 3 points off them. So tip of the old, truly flower-adorned hat that I got for free. And then Man United, we have not seen Ronaldo CR7 yet, but he will be there soon. I don't know what that does. Lingard, maybe back to West Ham on loan. I don't think the deadline already passed. Maybe I think it's deadline day today, right?
That deadline is tomorrow, 11 a.m. I believe.
Let's get it done. Let's get Lingard, please.
I saw a headline today that Man U said that they're happy to keep Lingard on there, let him earn a spot on the team. To which then I saw somebody replied with all the people he'd have to beat out for a spot. Yeah. It's like, come on. There's like 8 dudes in front of him.
If you want to wallow on the bench forever, all right. But let him free. Let my people go. But Premier League, yes, in its infancy, still very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Technically speaking, everyone still has a chance. So keep hope alive.
Nobody's eliminated yet. No, you're right. I mean, yeah, I'll say this for Man U. So far, Mason Greenwood's been their guy. I think he's gotten a goal in every game, or maybe goal in 2 games, assist in the other. Again, 1-0. Maybe you'd like to see more, but Wolves aren't a bad team. They're still a pretty solid defensive team. So you'll take the 1-0 win, especially on the road.
Every time. And it looks like I don't know where our Mets insider is. So I'll have to communicate with him after the show.
Putting out a fire is what he's doing.
Probably many fires, or just maybe already cried himself to sleep. I don't know. But Brian, we love you. We'll get you on one of these days.
We hope you're well.
How well can he be? I mean, but he's made it this long, and he's still a Mets fan. So
that's true. Props to him.
He's stronger than me. I could say that. Unfortunately, not able to join us on the day that we have our big Mets bonanza, but I do have someone that is interested in joining the program. Let's start with a little preface here of why the Mets have come back into focus here. We already showed their fan graph, their dramatic fall from grace and likely playoff contention. But over the weekend, Tyler, if you want to set this up, because I want to get the other video before we bring our other guest here.
Yeah. So this past weekend, the Mets actually won a series after their hellacious West Coast trip where they went 2-11, I believe, against the Dodgers and the Giants. So they beat the Nationals 2 games. In the post game, people are asking Javy Baez, or really asking a lot of players about the double thumbs down gesture that the Mets have been seen to do, which I will also say this. I wish I could have gotten a clip of it, but I lost it. Yesterday I saw somebody send me a clip saying they've been doing the thumbs down gesture for 3 weeks, but nobody's noticed because they've been shit. So it's just now being noticed. So they asked Javy Baez about it, and Javy Baez, you can see here, says, my case, they, meaning the fans, got to get better. It's just how I feel. I love the fans, playing for the fans. Basically, he's saying that the thumbs down gesture is them booing the fans because the fans boo them when they're bad, so they are going to boo the fans when the Mets do something good. So this immediately got out. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I texted you, Ron. I was like, this is not going to go well. Like, there's no way this is going to go well.
Oh, no. In New York? No.
So, of course, Mets owner, or excuse me, not owner, Mets president, Sandy Alderson, then released a statement last night about it. Basically just saying, look, we don't appreciate our players doing that. They shouldn't boo the fans. The fans pay for their tickets. They have their right to boo. So we're going to have a meeting with the fans to make sure they're not doing anything, or have a meeting with the players to make sure they're not doing anything to upset the fans. And, of course, thank you. God, thank you, New York Post.
New York Post. You are the big
story
best.
Of the day. Big story of the day. See, the thumb war. So this has kind of been dominating the sports news of the day today.
Also, just as a side note, New York Post, if you're the headline guy, I feel like we talked about the fun fact guy at Petco. Like, that's kind of a prestigious spot. Like, to work your way up to being the headline guy, Man, they always come through with some heat.
They do have good headlines. You got to give them that. So yeah, like I said, this kind of been dominating the news today. I also did catch this last night. Mets owner Steve Cohen voicing his opinion as well. Bro, you're the one that literally bought into this. Like, how could you not expect shit like this to happen? Again, it's been dominating the day, been dominating the New York headlines. I listened to a little bit of WFAN today, which is the big sports talk radio station there in New York, kind of the inventor of sports talk radio. And of course, they were talking about it all day. They were talking about comments the players said. You can see here Kevin Pillar, fan asked him about, are you booing fans? And he came out and said, look, it's for me, this isn't me saying I'm booing the fans. It's just
We're just chirving. We're just chirving. Hey.
Yeah, chirving, which I never knew that
times?
the OK sign is called chirving. I had no idea. So he said that, and then Marcus Stroman, who is a hell of a pitcher, but he's kind of an idiot sometimes. See here, yeah. He says that the media is searching for things to cause controversy. Stop playing into these. Which I'm like, the media didn't say anything. Javy Baez said everything. They just said what
offered
Javy
it
Baez
up.
said. Yeah. So I don't know if this is necessarily one you can blame on the media, but like I said, it's been dominating the sports news today. Ron, I don't know what were your thoughts on the whole fiasco.
It was very Metsy. I mean, let's just be honest. There, it's extreme peak Mets. Maybe not the peakest Mets, but it's up there. And the whole thing sort of reminded me of the I think it was a Chris Rock line where he was like, sometimes people with the most shit get to say the least shit. People with the least shit get to say the most shit. Like, nobody wants to hear that from the millionaire guy where everyone paid all their tickets to, like, go see them. Like, we're going to boo. Like, if we're mad, we're going to boo, especially in New York. They're going to boo. So taking this, like, full opposite tack of, like, we're going to boo you back, which I noticed the thumbs down thing, too, when they were playing the Dodgers. And I was like, it's kind of a weird celebration. Oh, maybe it's a team thing, but I was like, is he mad at the team or like what? And then now it all comes to light. So, but I do see that we may have on the celebrity hotline our Mets insider.
Ooh,
and I want to bring him in on the Corey's Market and Liquor celebrity hotline. Corey's Market and Liquor, 3122 University Avenue, Corey's Market and Liquor. We do check IDs. Welcome to the program, Mr. Brian Horn. Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What is up, Ronnie D?
Not a whole lot. We are just trying to dig through the mess that is the Mets. Step right up and meet the Mets. So right off grip, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the whole Javy Baez fiasco.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry. There we go. I mean, all right. Well, let's just start with this one. And then I just want to walk it back because you are the Mets insider on this program. So just to get your perspective as a, truly diehard flesh and blood Mets fan, it just seems like, yet another long sequence of bizarre things that the Mets seem to find themselves dealing with.
Yeah, totally. Like you said, meet the Mets, beat the Mets lately as they lost, 12 out of 15 or something crazy like that. And as you know, the owner called him out on the tweet and said, look at the numbers. Your slugging percentage is way below average. Your on-base percentage is below average. So,
and then, yes, he has another tweet. I miss the days when the biggest controversy was the black jerseys.
Oh, yeah, the black jerseys, throwback from 1999 or 1998, but whatever. The Mets got exactly what they don't need is Javy Baez, a free swinger who's rarely going to get on base and has no plate discipline. So now he's putting thumbs down on everybody. It's like, dude, you created your own fate right there.
Well, and then, I mean, as we were looking at the, again, always classic New York Post headlines, but like how there's no way ever that this will go over well, especially in all places New York. Like, he's going to get killed. Like, yes, it might be a rental because I don't know how they're going to bring him back after this. So, but these last, whatever 2 months or month and a half that they're going to have him for, wow, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I've seen time and time again. They bring on a big name player, and they just can't make it in New York. Like, look at Lindor; he's struggling. And they bring in Baez, who his average ain't so good. His attitude sucks. So it's like, if you don't think ahead in this day and age, the media is going to kill you.
Well, and Baez has been a good, productive player. I mean, his average is what it is. He strikes out a ton. But on some good teams for the Cubs, another big city, but not exactly the, roast session that New York is. So you probably get a little bit more like, I don't know, leeway, I guess, in Chicago. Everyone's like, oh, it's the Cubs. Like, we're used to kind of like struggling, whatever. Yes, they got the World Series kind of recently, but still, like, like wait till next year, all that stuff with the Cubs. They're kind of like, oh, he's one of the guys. Like, he's one of our guys. But New York is a different thing. When you start coming at the fans and then just put it out there publicly, it is not going to end well for you. Like, have you ever just like Wikipedia New York? Like, do you know what goes on? Like,
oh yeah, it's New York Mets haven't won a title in 35 years or something. So patience has been running thin the last 10. And then they got to the World Series 6 years ago, but it's never good enough, even if you won last year.
Yeah, and I don't know. To me, it's really funny to see, again, of all people, him criticizing the fans when it's like, you're batting 210, your on base percentage is 280, you're swinging at pitches before the ball has left the pitcher's hand.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, he comes from Chicago where the media is not nearly as harsh, and he's a guy that was a big piece of the Cubs World Series. So they will never bash him, like, ever. He could bat 0 for 200. They'll never bash him. But now you're in New York, like that Northeast media market between New York, Boston, and Philly. Like, they will love you if you're doing good, but they will absolutely let you know when you're doing bad too. So, like, kind of his reaction to this was kind of like, I don't know, doing the whole thumbs down thing to me. Like, if you want to do that as a rallying cry between you and the team, that's fine. Just lie when you're asked about it. Just say, like, oh, it's an inside joke between us. Like, that's all.
That would have been the move. Yeah. Just say, hey, it's something for me and the boys. Like, we know what it means. It's nothing. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just whatever. But no, total opposite tack from Javy there. He's just putting it out there. Also, the team's record since he came on board, not great. Before we bring on the other New York fan on the show, I'm just laughing because I just saw the other, like, sub headline at the top. Big Blue simply offensive for losing a preseason game to the Patriots. New York Post, never change. God bless you, New York Post. But adding on the program on the Canada Steak Burger Celebrity Hotline, we do have a special guest here and local celebrity now at this point after today.
Nick in Mission Valley.
Let's throw it out to big Nick in Mission Valley also hopping in. Nick, how are you doing?
Oh, just 2 thumbs down all the way. Booing you guys.
Thumbs down guy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on and booing us, CEO. You're supposed to be helping us out here. But, I'm sure I know your dad is a Mets fan, right? So you've seen a lot of it. But how do you take you just have to say a huge bad judgment by Javy Baez coming out saying this?
Bad judgment is it's kind of being kind right there. But I mean, kind of going to what Tyler said, like, you're in the Northeast. The media there they will either put you on a pedestal or they will chop you at your knees. And at this point, you haven't been producing.
Give them a reason.
Yeah, it's like pretty much like give me a reason to to mess you up, and they will. It's just it's bad enough you're not producing. You can barely stretch 250 at the plate. Pitches you're swinging pitches before they even cross the plate, let alone cross even touches the dirt. It's a thing of picking and choosing your battles with the media, especially in New York. Perfect example. What was that pitcher's name from the Yankees when the whole substance came about? That piece of crap.
Garrett
man.
Cole.
Yeah, that guy. That guy. Yeah, you have to pick and choose your.
I don't know.
when it comes
I don't know if I don't know quite. I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
People just not built for it. Just not built for the New York media. I mean, it's a real thing. I did see a comment from the Baron though. Before we dive into some more Mets insanity, because of, and I don't, if you saw it backstage, but the sub headline there, Big Blue is simply offensive. So, Baron, just want to get your thoughts on that. How you're feeling about that?
It's preseason. It is preseason. We're going into a 17-week season. We will see week one. I can't really say anything about the preseason. I don't think I watched a single Giants preseason game. I'm just like,
well, that's good.
I'll watch the crappy Yankees play. I'll watch those buttholes
But
play.
Again, to the point that we were all making, this gets like a above the fold headline here on a preseason game, just bashing the Giants. Like, this is the New York media. Like, if they get crapped on in a preseason game, everyone's going to hear about it.
Yeah, so if they're getting crapped on during a preseason game, imagine during a regular season game, what that's going to look like.
They just don't want to show all their cards. Regular season, they're going gangbusters. Don't worry.
But, yeah, I really can't. I haven't seen a Giants preseason game because same way you guys feel about preseason, who cares?
But
I'm watching a bunch of you guys about to get cut.
Moving on to, I don't know if it's more positive or not, but, we're taking the 10,000-foot view here, and we're just having a overall, commiseration for the insanity that goes on with the Mets on a regular basis. K-Rod choking out his father-in-law in front of the media also, in the locker room. There's that. Dwayner Sanchez on his way to the team gets hit in a taxi cab. I mean, some of it's just bad luck. It's not even these guys' fault, but it's just
sure.
It's the Mets team.
Well, K-Rod wasn't bad luck.
No, that wasn't. But it's just you see it more and more. So then Tyler pointed me to this Reddit thread that is mostly filled out by it's a Mets Reddit thread, and somebody posed a question well, now we have this Baez thing. Just out of curiosity, what's the most insane things that you can remember? And some people had lists of 80 things, and it goes back 50 years, just absolutely insane. I mean, of course, the classic Bobby V getting kicked out, coming back with a fake mustache made out of eye black and sunglasses, even though it was a night game. And then, as he explained it, they won the game right after, so he goes out and high fives everyone. He's like, then the commissioner of the National League called me and I got suspended for 2 games and fined $5,000. But just the intrigue, it never stops with the Mets. And there, of course, another one, Mike Piazza, just on his own volition, calling a press conference just to say that he is very much not gay. Which kind of seems like the most try-hard thing you could do. I'm just saying, if you're not gay, you don't have to say you're not gay. But the top comment there from the Philly fan also, fair is fair. He's like, look, dude, I know Philly fans. Maybe they were saying a bunch of inappropriate stuff. They probably didn't even know about the press conference. That's just Philly fan.
Yeah, there's no class to Philly fans.
And shout out.
I said it
again. So, yet another. Vince Coleman throwing a firework at some Dodger fans, injuring people. Actually injuring Dwight Gooden as well by swinging a golf club in the clubhouse. Man, there was a Syndergaard getting
COVID.
nose and whatever mouth disease or whatever it is.
Foot
Like,
and mouth disease. Yeah.
just like,
Oh, I thought you
but
said he
9
got COVID.
misfortunes. Well, I'd like to see that.
Oh
They,
my.
like, God, yeah. What else?
I mean-
like when I saw that thread, I read it for probably like a good hour, and I was in tears, just
The
laughing.
hits just kept coming. I mean, it was just like, man, I remember a lot of this, but when you see it in one place, you're just like, wow.
Like
Wow.
they had it wasn't like a director of player personnel, but it was some position like that. This guy started yelling at 2 players in their minor league system, and then
ripped his
shirt off and threatened to fight them. Which I'm like,
Oh,
like you can't make that up. It's so stupid. You cannot make that up.
Brody getting caught on the hot mic,
Yes,
just bashing
which-
Manfred, which look, we all
We
bash
talked about
Manfred,
that last year.
but if you're a GM, maybe they're not the best look. It's just like one after the other. Like, when will it ever stop?
The Yola
And it will never
Tango,
stop.
that was
Oh,
Yola Tango, which
Yola
was an
Tango,
absolutely
yes.
hilarious story. Yeah.
I mean, at least it named one of the formative indie bands of all time,
True.
Yola Tango. But
That's
the Mets, it's not even. They do have some World Series out there, or what, one or two.
I mean, they were the World
least
Series
one.
6 years ago. Like
They were?
what? Yeah,
They're
6
not-
years ago. Yeah.
Completely non-competitive. So it's like
Right.
you have something, but that's why I would hesitate to say a life of pain. It's more of like a life of insanity. Like Bernie
Yeah.
Madoff. Like, if any team would be wrapped up in this, it would be Bernie. Yes, Mr. Met getting caught flipping off a fan, and then the Mr. Met guy gets fired. Like, at every possible turn, it just gets more Mets. Like,
Oh God.
it's
I mean,
unbelievable.
Like, let's not forget, man, this is always a classic. We even have a day for it now. Bobby Bonilla, like, just
Bobby
that
Bonilla.
Bobby
never
Bonilla
had
is
that
still
loop.
getting paid. Well after we're all dead and gone.
Bobby was kind of a fallout of the Bernie Madoff thing, where they started spending money they didn't actually have.
It's gonna be huge. Once we get this money back, we're set.
Which this one I actually didn't even know about, even though it's a recent one. But current Cy Young candidate Zach Wheeler, who used to be on the Mets, he was injured, and then for some reason they wouldn't let him sit in the dugout during the games. They actually said, if you want to come to a playoff game, you have to buy a ticket. They said this to one of their active players. Like, injured players are in the dugout all the time. They're actually almost required to be there. They wouldn't let him do it. So then he got pissed off, left, and now he's dominated them every time he's pitched against them.
Lest we forget the other tie-in, Mr. Tebow.
Oh yes,
former Met farmhand.
That's one of the less embarrassing things.
Actually, yeah. I mean, in the line of like sort of dignified things, I guess that's a silver lining. But
earlier this year, the fight in the dugout, where then it became the whole raccoon versus rat debacle. I mean, just
look, Tyler and I were saying
Cespedes. Don't forget that whole thing.
Oh my God, yeah, just disappears the whole season,
and
we don't know where he is.
And steals the team's smoke machine on the way out.
Hey, he brought it. He just wanted to take a smoke machine.
It wasn't even his. It was what's his face, their manager, that got fired because of the whole Houston thing. He got fired, and then Cespedes stole his smoke machine.
Oh my God!
Look,
as I was telling Tyler before the show, if you're a fan of any team, you know all the bad parts. Like,
you do.
Lord, really do. Look, I'm a Raider fan. It's a lot of bad parts. But it just seems like certain teams are just somehow destined to have a sequence of never-ending misfortunes or bizarre things that just never end. I don't know why.
I mean, look at recent events. They were trying to get Syndergaard back. Boom, COVID got him. I'm like, damn, can these guys not catch a break?
Yeah, he was vaccinated. Boom, got COVID. Cespedes fell off a horse, allegedly, and then the rest. But it's just a nonstop parade of insanity with the Mets. But
Look, I will just say this: go to reddit.com/r/baseball. It's probably still on the first page of posts. They always put 25 posts. Just read through it. Like another person that I had reacted to posted, like Ronnie said, like 80 things. Even bringing up some stuff that is again just unfortunate, like the Mike Cameron and who was the other outfielder that dove headfirst into each other against the Padres.
Oh yeah, it was like face first. Like they hit face to face.
It was two guys in a dead sprint that both dove headfirst and just smashed face to face, and Mike Cameron looked like he was dead for about 2 minutes. I mean, just like reading all the stuff was just like
when you see it in one place, it's a lot.
Look, I'm a fan of the Sacramento Kings, the Michigan Wolverines, the Los Angeles Chargers. Those are three very memeable teams. The Mets are like all three of those times 10
in one total package.
It's astounding. And Brian, I know you dropped out. You made a couple comments here. Bless you for being a Mets fan for this long, because it's just I don't know how.
Hey, I already told you, you're a stronger man and fan than I am. Because look, even as a Raider fan, some of this Mets stuff, I'm like, whoa, like. Wow. And we drafted Jamarcus Russell. That's I'm saying.
Hey, he had potential. Oh, wait.
Well, he hit a cup from 60 yards sitting on his knees at the 50-yard line or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and with Kovic, like, the Mets they've had some glory days to them, too, like 2000, 2015. It kind of came out of nowhere. And went to the World Series. So it's like this team. Yeah, 69 86.
They won twice. 69 86.
Yep.
Jeez.
Look, I mean, being a fan of any team, if you really are a true fan, look, unless maybe even Yankees, Patriots, it's pretty much a life of pain. I mean, you remember the bad beats better than the great wins. So
true.
It's just the freakishness of the things that happen around the Mets, in and around the Mets, just kind of, it just builds on itself.
Well, bless them, because it gives us things to laugh and talk about.
And it's just like,
that's our
Javy Baez.
Well, I hope he works it out. I hope they give him a huge extension, and that will just lead to more insanity. But as we move on from the Mets, but they're always, close to our hearts. A couple more odds and ends. We did have, thankfully, the beginning of college football this weekend.
Some games, yeah.
And this one, well, I mean, for one individual, was not great. Scott Frost. Oh, boy. The once proud Nebraska Cornhuskers. He is not looking great. And then he actually did say this, about half of our game plan was out the window when they lined up how they did. That's a Division I power conference team coach dropping that quote on.
What do you expect me to do? Adjust to what they're doing? Come on.
Who could have seen this coming? No. Come on, man.
I'm only a man. So, and here's the even funnier thing about what he said. So, Illinois is now coached by Brett Bielema, former Wisconsin and Arkansas coach. He did a really good job of kind of keeping their defensive game plan kind of tight to the vest. Didn't really get out what they were going to be running, what their base set was. Their base set was exactly what he ran in Wisconsin and Arkansas, a 4-man front. So, like, the fact that you were shocked at what they ran and then let alone be able to adjust to it and just like throw half your playbook away is like, wow, this guy led UCF to 11 wins a few years ago. He did that.
Well, and the thing is, it's already been rocky for him there. So, and then you lose the opening game, national TV, first national televised game of the year. Maybe just don't say anything. Like, definitely don't say that. Like, we could just avoid putting like straight kerosene on fire that is already burning underneath you. But no, he did actually say that.
Well, to be honest, I think at this point in time he actually wants to be fired because if he gets fired before the year ends, he gets a $20 million payout.
You get that
So
buyout, baby.
I kind of think that's what he's going for at this point in time because it's been a disaster him at Nebraska. Look, the first year or two you expect, some rocky times. It's not his team. He's putting in a system, blah blah blah. But as a great Reddit poster, kind of made a point this week in a really funny message I sent to you, Ron. He only has 12 wins in his time at Nebraska, and like they haven't played necessarily the toughest schedules. So
No, and that was posed in the form of his biggest 15 wins, which just means they left the bottom three blank. Marquee 15 wins. Well, we got 12.
Rough start for Scott Frost there. Look, I got family back in Nebraska that are massive Cornhusker fans. Amazing fan base, incredible, great people, awesome fans. But oh boy, it's not going to get any better. If Illinois is beating you, it's not going to get any better.
Pretty handily as well. And
also,
I do want to point.
Gambling.
Yes, want to bring up on the Arkansas Slim legitimate sportsbook moment of the show here. Again, entertainment purposes only. Please believe that. We do not want to be sued. The over-under in this game at a lot of books was 52.5. So, man, for all intents and purposes, honestly, they had to go for it on fourth down. I did not even think they were going to score that touchdown to make it 52. But Nebraska and the insanity all around then misses the extra point. I saw the actual MGM sportsbook account tweeted out in all caps they missed the extra point. Surely this can't mean anything, right? Exclamation point, exclamation point. And then everyone just freaking out in the comments it saved me. God, this killed me. No. Yes.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Yeah. RIP to the over 52 bettors there.
College football is back. And also college football over-unders. I mean, that is – you're dabbling in some depths of degeneracy right there.
College football betting in itself is pretty dangerous. I mean, I guess if you want to play money lines, you'll get it right most of the time. But spreads in college football are just so insane because if you're betting on a halfway decent team, it's 24 points at least.
Well, and over-under is the same. If Alabama has it put to bed and they're just, running out the fourth string, the other team might go get 2 or 3 more touchdowns because it's probably 2.5 quarters left. So
let's not kid ourselves. An Alabama over-under game, you're betting on if you think Alabama will get over or under.
Yeah, you just got to all right, can they hang 60? I hope. All right. Let it ride.
But definitely looking forward to the college football games and the college football betting action.
And the end
this week.
R.I.P. Tebow of the NFL preseason. Thank God. The last thing that I did want to talk about, because we talked about it on Friday, our boy, the Lodi Lummox, the Modesto Masher, the Clovis Clubber. We all saw him flirting with 59 on Friday. And he just barely rolled out, lipped out that one putt, had to settle for the 60, but still a great round. Comes back Saturday, another good round. Cantlay kind of nipping at his heels. They go into Sunday. Not a terrible round, but Cantlay was right there with them, blow for blow. They end up in a playoff. It's another, which is weird this year in the PGA. It's been 4 or 5 of these 5-hole and more playoffs. But end up in this playoff. Bryson, I believe he had 3 putts in the playoff to win that he either missed, one kind of badly, and then 2 that just didn't read it right or it lipped out or whatever. But the thing is, with Bryson, it's always going to be a circus around him. And he doesn't really do himself any favors, but, he is who he is. He's a mad scientist out there. Had this moment that everyone's harping on now because he freaked out at Cantlay, walking sort of in his peripheral or whatever. Became a huge thing, and then well, you could see what happened with Cantlay right after this happened.
Patrick, can you stop blocking?
No, he just asked Patrick Cantlay to stop watching, didn't he?
He certainly did, yeah.
Did a great one, bud.
Did he hit it? Did he hit it? Yes, he did. And Cantlay drops a birdie in at 14.
Which, I mean, is the best way to answer back. And Cantlay, he was pretty, not really trying to get mixed up in it. Pretty classy in his response. He was like, yeah, it happens, whatever. I didn't take it personal or whatever. Even though Bryson does have a long history of complaining about ants or people,
anything,
whatever. Yes. So it's just like another, just like, oh, dude, like everyone is just going to hate you more now. And there was a good moment that I saw, I saw on social media where he gave his hat to a kid after he had lost. He's going to have to cry himself to sleep on his like $1.2 million check for second place. But gave his hat to a kid. The kid was really excited. But then walking, up to the, I don't know, where the players only, like turning your scorecard thing or whatever. Of course, somebody yelled out, "Great job, Brooksy," and he was not having it. And almost, I don't know, like a borderline Malice at the Palace situation. It was diffused by security. But the circus with this guy just continues. I mean, he's fascinating. Don't get me wrong. But and Central Valley boy, Central Valley strongman.
That's right.
But it's getting weirder and weirder. I don't know.
That like I understand he's probably really pissed off that he came in second when he definitely had many chances to win that tournament. So that probably hearing the great job Brooksy, which his rivalry with Brooks Koepka has been well documented on this program.
Of course.
Reacting the way he did, all he's doing is opening it up for fans to continue to call him Brooksy. Like I understand he gets a lot of love in the show, but we both understand like a lot of people hate him, and we get why they hate him. Like, totally get it. But reacting that way was not just from a PR perspective, but just from a overall like future fan interaction trolling issue. Like that's the worst way you could have reacted.
Oh yeah, this is certainly going to make it worse. And I mean, one thing I would not accuse DeChambeau ever of is really taking, I guess, how do I say this politely, like the long view on things, like,
sure.
Which is kind of endearing, for his fans, or I like him because it just is what it is. But he's really, they call him the scientist for a reason. Like he's trying to figure out how he can hit the ball further than anyone. He's still an overall excellent golfer, so that gets overlooked because everyone's like, oh, he's just trying to hit the ball like 500 yards, but it's just crazy the turn when it was like sort of 50-50 or like, ooh, Bryson's got the upper leg. He's trolling Brooks. Now Brooks is trolling him. But now it is definitely tilted towards like, all right, Bryson, everyone's in your head right now. And but again, and then the whole thing of like, I don't know if he fired him or if his caddy just wanted to leave. That whole thing, the fallout from that. And I can only imagine how insane it would be trying to deal with this guy on a daily basis. But it is, I don't know. I mean, I would like to see the interest that it is generating from the casual golf fan is appreciated. But it definitely has gone way out of his favor recently, where the fans are just piling on him. And I don't even know if he cares, because he's just kind of a weird guy. But
look, at this point in time, man, you could probably make a lot more money like just being the bad guy, being the heel, and kind of the good argument is the heel is one that always, thinks that what he's doing is right. So I'm kind of like, you know what, man, just lean into it. Fine, whatever. Again, it's not good. And if you're getting this mad at fans just saying good job, Brooksy, again, that's just going to be the tip of the iceberg. You're like, that's going to be nonstop now. Fans are going to be all over you every time you step up the tee off. So, but look, I think he can make more money, draw some viewers if he, just embrace the hate, go heel.
I mean, if anyone could be, I don't know, like unaware / detached enough, I think it would be him, because he just really only cares about the one thing. Like, maybe he's probably mad in the moment, but I don't think he like goes to sleep worrying about a lot of this stuff, because he is just sort of like that kind of detached guy. But just in the public perception, everyone is, turning on him now. Like, look at this guy. He's like a spaz. He freaks out. All you got to do is yell Brooksy. He's missing all these short putts where he could have won. Like, it's piling up against him. But the next one is still out there. Like I said, he's still young, still a good golfer. It's just another interesting twist and turn in the never-ending saga of Bryson.
And I gotta give props to my guy Patrick Cantlay. I know he's a guy I think in our most recent like 2 or 3 majors we've predicted that he's been like one of my guys. I'm like, oh come on, I hope you do it. So
on deck, yeah.
Nice to see him get a win. Definitely looking forward to him. Hopefully he can break out and win a major one of these days. But shout out to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, even the whole people were trying to blow it up, like the "can you stop walking" thing. Like, he didn't really pounce on that or say, he was pretty classy about it. He was like, yeah, I don't want to bother anyone out there. It is kind of ironic, though, that if you're in a group where they're saying, can you guys speed up a little bit, and you're in Bryson's group, which seems to happen a lot because he does like to take his time.
Sure.
But, he kind of handled it with as much class as he could, and at the end of the day, he won, which I think the winner of the BMW is like, it's got to be close to like $5 or $6 million probably for that first place.
Yeah, I didn't see what the payout for him was, but yeah, it's definitely like if Bryson got 1.2 million, I'm sure he definitely got paid pretty handsomely. So again, shout out, Cantlay. Go get that major.
We'll see.
Go get
it's
a
major. Long, strange journey. The long, strange journey of Mr. One Bryson DeChambeau continues. But that's all we had this evening. Unless Tyler, if you had anything else you want to hit on before we get out of here.
I think the only other thing I had on here, just because this pertains to you, is
that's right. Playoff Rondo is back.
Playoff Rondo coming back to your Lakers. So
we are signing every old guy in the NBA.
Well, I think I saw that they have 7 current or former All-Stars on their team, which is the most in like the last 20 years on any one team. So hey, look, Lakers fans, just don't worry about what he does during the regular season, because in that postseason, that's when you need him the most, and he delivers.
We just need him to yell at people when they're being
dumb. Which he will do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the practices, him and Westbrook, is going to be great, because both of those guys are very even-keeled and just level-headed guys.
Absolutely. But other than that, yeah, that was all I had. Just wanted to mention that.
Well, and yes, thank you for that. I did see also someone was like, look at all the All-Star games they have on this team, and then, which I thought was funny, like the next comment down on whatever it was, Facebook or Twitter, was like, oh yeah, well, they could just sign like Kareem and Larry Bird and then have like 50 more. They're all old as hell. Like, we don't know if they're even going to be able to make it to the end. Like, that's just a number. Like, it doesn't matter for what's going to happen next year.
True words.
But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, and keep the faith. My man, Brian, shout out. I know a big Dice fan. My guy, the Dice fan. Geesh. What about the Mets, huh?
Hickory dickory dock.
I don't have anything with sunglasses, so I'll just give you Bobby V.
Close enough.
But thank you for joining us. Thank you, CEO Nick in Mission Valley, as he will henceforth be known. And thank you for all your comments as well. We will be back with you guys on Wednesday as we get just a little closer. And then I think we have college football on Thursday. And, of course, on the weekend.
Thursday games, yes.
So football is back. Thank God. Because after those Olympics dropped out, we're grasping at straws here.
Hey, bro, we got Paralympics. I watched a little bit of that over the weekend.
True.
But no, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, we're back here on Wednesday, giving you a little taste of the Thursday action on college football and any other news that goes on. This whole Mets thing, who knows? This Mets thing could blow over in a couple days because maybe the New York media is just used to like, all right, let's just go with this one thing today, and the Mets will give us something good like in a week. So
yeah, they're
maybe
just going to come back with something else.
This could blow over pretty quickly, but yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. We're back here on Wednesday. We love you. You know the drill. Keep the fire.